Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So the garden has progressed pretty well this last week. I have removed the rope edge which was defining the border of the new design, and what I've done is I've pulled out the existing edging on the straight runs and I've moved that into place just on top of the lawn at the moment, just to show how the design will look. And I usually look from my upstairs window, I look down onto the garden, and you can then see whether the curve is going to be ultimately correct for the new design. So yeah, that's a major progression. Obviously in the last video you saw that I moved the irrigation system, and that's all tested and working, and I'm now happy with that. So the only thing I have to bear in mind now is when I put in the new metal edging, I have to make sure that I don't push the metal edging through the quite shallow water pipes that run along the edge of the straight run. So obviously I know where it is, so I will obviously not make that mistake. But it's very easy to do because the metal edging, as you can probably see in the background, it has points on the bottom which push into the soil and keep the edge stable over time. So so the edging is all laid out, ready to go. So what I'm going to do today is install the metal edging and move the a lot of the turf from, you might not be able to see in the picture actually, but I'm going to move the turf from the areas which is going to be stripped and is going to be flower bed. That is going to move up to the area where it's currently a flower bed, and then I need to level that off. And another job that I'd like to do today is I've moved some shrubs from other parts of the garden. It's generally a good time to move shrubs at the moment because they're they're dormant time of year and the ground's very wet, so they should take to rerooting in the spring pretty well. So the shrub at the bottom, which is the choisia, I'm going to install that, dig that, put that in today, because I know for definite that's where that shrub is going. The other shrubs are, they've obviously been dug up, put into pots, packed with soil, and I'm leaving them flexible at the moment because I'm still awaiting 2 large Trachycarpus palms and a Boutia odorata, which is all coming, the 3 are all coming from one company, and I'm promised that they will be arriving in January. So until those ones have arrived, I don't want to plant anything around their location, because I will find that if I need to tweak the position of them even a foot to the left or the right, I want to make sure that these large palms are in exactly the correct position, and they obviously get quite big, so I need to make sure that there's enough growing room for that. So yeah, waiting those palms. The Gardening Express palms have arrived, so there'll be a video either before or after this video explaining about the different quality, well, the quality of the palms that have been delivered and the price I've paid for them. And I did have to wait a little bit longer than normal because it's obviously Christmas time and it's really busy for couriers as well as the nursery themselves. So yeah, so there'll be a separate video on that, and I plan to do a couple of videos over the Christmas period as well. Probably one of them will be a tour of the front and back garden as they are at the moment, so you can see what the plants look like at the end of December and the winter interest in particular. And you'll probably see some gaps in the borders as well, because of that's where obviously things have been moved. And yeah, I just wanted it to be a realistic video of exactly the work in progress on the front garden and the sort of semi-finished back garden on there. So there'll be another video coming soon on there. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, it really helps me out. Ultimately by the end of next year I'd like to get to 1,000 subscribers, and I'm on nearly 400 at the moment. So I need a few videos to really, the algorithm to pick them up and to get more followers, and then that will help me reach a larger audience, and ultimately it will improve the videos that I produce. So yeah, so I'll just show you a couple of highlights of the front garden, just showing where the edging's been put in and what I'm kind of planning to do today by holding the camera and actually showing you directly. So we are at the bottom of the garden, of the front garden. So this is obviously where we pull into our drive. And you can see from the position of the shrubs, the choisia, which is in the middle of the frame there, that I'm going to install today. And I need to get that kind of equal space between the Acer on the right and the Lonicera topiary on the left. It's the 21st of December today. I just want to say we've got, if I pan down here, we have daffodils coming up, which is amazing, really. It just shows how mild it's been. So the woodland garden, I haven't really done anything to it other than I've removed one of the roses, which was in this position here, just to make a bit more space in the garden. And yeah, this shows the location of the choisia. So I need to strip this bit of turf at the front here, and I will probably strip it till about middle of the frame here, and I will use the mycorrhizal fungi, which you sprinkle on the roots, and that helps to really boost the root system of the shrub, especially because it's been moved. As we head up here, we can see this is the location of what I'm actually going to do here. Is I'm going to put, it's technically a barbecue shelter, but it's going to be like a little seating area. So it's in amongst both the borders, and it just kind of like, as you drive down the drive, it looked like a nice place that you can sit, and it adds height and interest into this part of the garden and breaks up the right hand bed and obviously the existing left hand bed. So yeah, you can see the gentle curves of the new border. So I'm going to strip this turf today here, and I'm going to move that up here. Tools at the ready. So the edging is now in, and I've backfilled, and there's also, I've added a few plants into the border, ones that I had in pots, and I've moved some of the herbaceous plants as well. So I planted this yucca in here because that's been in a pot for a while, and I want to get that one in the ground as soon as possible. And I've placed a few of the palms. They're not obviously installed sort of yet, but I've placed them in what I think is going to be their position. So this is the Camarops humilis on there. So it's just seeing, you know, the height of that next to the roses and the existing plants and things. As we look down the border, you can see where I've replaced turf here from that bit further down. And I've had to move quite a bit of the herbaceous because it was in the way. So it's been dug up into clumps and then just placed roughly in the position I think they're going to be going in. Try and see it from a bit further distance. And again, I've got a Camarops humilis down here as well. I've got it next to a euphorbia, but I'm not sure which one I'm going to use in that position yet. And then just down on this side, I've placed a Trachycarpus fortunei. It's actually going to go a little bit further back in the border. And as I said, in the design side of things, it's going to grow up to fill this space here. I've also put the choisia in the ground because that was flapping around in the wind. So that's now in its final kind of position. Eventually it will get quite big, so I will prune around this topiary ball on the left here. And obviously I don't want it to get so big that it's going to bash into the acer, so I have to trim that back as well. So you can really see the shape of the border and the new grass space that's been created. It's very much a work in progress, as you guys know. I've levelled up a bit of the lawn at the bottom here because it was very much sunken in that position, and I thought, well, if I'm putting this sort of shelter in there, I need to make sure that it's vaguely level. I have had a thought while I'm doing the while I was doing the garden earlier. I had a thought that maybe it'd be better to put the shelter a little bit further down in this border at the back, so it's kind of hidden, because ultimately there's going to be palms and shrubs and things in here. But I was thinking of maybe doing stepping stones going through where that grass is now, through to the shelter, which would be positioned really between that acer and the Camerops similis there. But that's why it's kind of like, I'm placing things, moving things around, because I'm not quite sure of the final position of these things. And it doesn't have to be at the end of this bit of grass. I could round that off again just to make that better. So yeah, quite a bit of work today. It's taken me about 4.5 hours to reposition the turf and move stuff in the border, with a slight break for lunch, of course. But yeah, so that's progress so far on part 3 of this series. And I guess the next thing will be, moving more herbaceous round into the final position, and really waiting for the 2 big Trachycarpus to arrive and the Butea, so that I can get those positioned and then start to get everything in the ground. So, hope you've enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.